After Biden's loss at the first presidential debate and Trump's failed unaliving attempt, Trump's approval rating went up 3.2%. And Biden's rate had been under Trump's for a while now. In turn, Joe threw in the towel and nominated Kamala Harris to represent the Democratic Party. However, what are her chances of becoming president, and what are some of the strategies she could use to win the election? As of writing, it is too early to definitively gauge her popularity. Comparing Kamala's and Trump's approval rating, he leads her by about 4.5%. This is comparing her approval as VP and Trump as the former president, not accounting for the current circumstances. Shortly after the nomination, they asked a group of 1,300 if the general election was held today, who'd they vote for? They both tied at 42%. However, most of her support comes from people of color. Among white voters, she is down 13%, but is up 23% with black voters and 12% with Latino voters. When asking younger voters prior to the nomination, Biden was only up Trump 6 percentage points, but comparing with Kamala, she soars with 20. However, with women, she's tied at 45% and losing with men. Her strategy may double down on people of color and young voters, but she also needs to appeal more to female voters by emphasizing reproductive freedom. Crucially, it may come down to battleground states, where votes are the closest. In Nevada and Arizona, she must appeal to more Latino voters. In Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, she may need to appeal to black voters in major cities like Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, and Detroit. Additionally, she needs to appeal to the Middle Eastern/North African groups in Michigan and Wisconsin, particularly in cities like Dearborn, Sterling Heights, and Warren, where the population percentages are as high as 50%. She needs to make statements regarding Israel and Palestine that resonate with these groups. Doing so could gain her substantial traction with MENA and other young voters. More importantly, a critical factor will be her VP choice. Roy Cooper, the governor of North Carolina, is a strong contender. Historically, North Carolina has been a red state, but in the last 2020 election, Trump only won by a margin of 1.3%. With Cooper's popularity in this traditional red state, his selection could potentially flip it for the first time in 16 years. Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, could help swing Pennsylvania's votes. Of the battleground states, it's worth the most electoral votes, and losing it could be devastating for either party. However, his outspoken support of Israel might turn away more progressive Democrats and MENA groups in states like Michigan and Wisconsin. Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, is another option. While flipping Kentucky is highly unlikely due to its 26% Republican lead, Beshear is a Democrat who has won multiple times in a red state and is praised for overcoming the odds. If he were picked, it wouldn't be because of flipping state potentiality. J.P. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois and former businessman of the Hyatt Hotel, has been an active donor of the Democratic Party and has openly opposed Trump on multiple occasions. However, his personal wealth is a double-edged sword. While he may help campaign funding, it may hinder working-class votes. Mark Kelly, a senator for Arizona, is another potential VP. A former NASA astronaut and Navy veteran, he garners respect from both Democrats and Republicans. He could sway votes in Arizona and appeal to moderate voters across the nation. Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan, could help flip the battleground state. She's a large advocate for women's abortion rights and could help sway female voters. However, two female candidates might lower male voter turnout, and Whitmer has publicly stated she won't run as VP. Pete Buttigieg, the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and current US Secretary of Transportation, might provide more Midwest representation and stronger traction with the LGBTQ. He has significant media exposure on shows like Pod Saves America, The Daily, The Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert, The New Yorker, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and even with YouTubers like Hank Green. However, when asking Democrats who they want to see as VP, Buttigieg and Whitmer ranked the highest, each scoring 21%. However, most importantly, a potential turning point, if executed correctly, is the upcoming presidential debate in September. Kamala Harris is a former attorney in Alameda County and San Francisco and had been for 20 years. Her bread and butter is argumentative debate. Many argued she beat Mike Pence in the 2020 vice presidential debate in a landslide. A strong performance in the upcoming debate could shape the election, so we'll just have to see how it goes.